Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Scott Vanderwall, a third-generation family farmer from Volga, South Dakota, where we have a family operation. Along with my wife and several family members, we raise corn and soybeans, have a beef cattle feedlot, and do some custom harvesting. I've served as president of the South Dakota Farm Bureau for 13 years, and very proud and privileged to have served as vice president of American Farm Bureau now for the last 2 years. I'm also honored that one of my jobs, and one of my favorite jobs, is the responsibility is to introduce our president. Zippy Duvall is a poultry, cattle, and hay producer from Greene County, Georgia. He served as president of the Georgia Farm Bureau for 9 years. He's been a Farm Bureau member since 1977 and has served as vice president and president of Greene County Farm Bureau. He served as chairman of Georgia's Young Farmers Committee and the American Farm Bureau Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee. He was also a member of former Georgia Governor Sonny Perdue's Ag Advisory Council. And just last month, this is a great honor for us, he was appointed to the White House's Advisory Committee for Trade Policy and Negotiations. Zippy and his wife Bonnie have 4 children, Vince, Corey, Zeb, Zelly, and 5 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the president of our great organization and my friend, Zippy Duvall.
Well, good morning, Farm Bureau leaders. Boy, I'm telling you what, I'm ready for this, and I'm so excited. And welcome to the 99th annual meeting of the American Farm Bureau Federation. 99 years, that's pretty darn special. That's pretty darn special, and what a lineup we have for you. Reba McEntire is going to come. Yeah. The Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue, who's a friend of mine, is going to be here. And the President of our United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump, is going to visit with us tomorrow. And then let's not forget about the Foundation Night Out over at the Grand Ole Opry, where we're going to be with Winona and a lot of her friends. We have a great lineup. We hope you enjoy every minute of this convention, because it's going to be one that we'll remember forever. I can't think of a better place than here in Nashville to kick off our year and celebrate Farm Bureau's rich history and our bright future. The people of Nashville are proud of their history, but they're not limited by it. This is one of the fastest growing cities in America. I'd like to know, how many of you grew up listening to the Grand Ole Opry? I did. Yeah, look at all those hands. So you feel at home here. The Grand Ole Opry is a broadcast that is about the same age as American Farm Bureau. We have about 6 years on them. And like Farm Bureau, Music City is still strong and attracting new generations of artists and listeners. You know, me and my grandson and granddaughter down here, we listened to that song, and the artist is so new, I don't even remember his name. But it's, I got a little dirt on my boots, but I'm going to take you downtown tonight. But I still like the old songs. My little granddaughter, Josie, who's not able to be with us here today, she and I like to listen to Conway Twitty's Hello, Darling. Because every time I walk in a room, I say, hello, darling, and she says, hello, darling. And then, of course, Patsy Cline was my daddy's favorite, and I still love listening to Patsy Cline today. These old songs are classics, but they told the story of us as we built rural America and made it and transformed it into the engine that runs this great country of ours. All of us in Farm Bureau are proud of our history, but we are excited about the changes that are ahead for agriculture and Farm Bureau. The most exciting thing in Bonnie in my life is watching our family grow. And, you know, I'm like one of them dads and granddads. I like to share that with you. And we have welcomed a new daughter-in-law into our life. We just had our son get married to Katie. and they were married, and we had a great celebration on our farm there in Greshamville, Georgia. And one of the memorable things of that night was, I remember when several of the guys got together and they sang Alpha Gamma Rho song. You see, agriculture is part of all our family celebrations. It's just part of our life and our soul. In addition to growing Zeb's veterinary business, he also helps me with the family farm. While I'm traveling in Washington, D.C. and traveling the country, I couldn't do this job without him, and I'm blessed to have been able to celebrate his marriage to Katie, and we're so excited about their life that they're going to spend on our farm. But just since I've been your president, we've welcomed 2 new grandchildren into our family. Savannah Claire joined Ava and Tripp in my son Vince and Aaron's family. And then, of course, Grumpy Gus came along the side of Josie in my daughter Corey and her husband Jared's family. And then, of course, I'm not going to leave her out, then there's Zelly. She's my youngest daughter who's growing her career in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, working for Congressman Rick Allen, who's on the Agriculture Committee. So she's doing that work, getting him ready for the Farm Bill, and she represents that class of people that our staff works with every day on issues that face us. So we're real proud of her. And I am so grateful and blessed to have Bonnie by my side, to be my partner in our faith, to be my partner in farming, be my partner in our family, and be my partner in Farm Bureau. Please welcome Bonnie and give her a round of applause. You know, I know my Lord is my rock, but in this physical life, Bonnie's the rock and the glue that holds our family together. And we love you, Bonnie. We love you. Many of us are filled with the same pride as we watch our farms and families grow. We are so proud and excited about the opportunities ahead of us as members of the Farm Bureau family. But let me tell you, things have changed a lot in Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump has put a team into place to get things done for farmers and ranchers. Farm Bureau, though, I want to remind you that we're a nonpartisan organization. We applaud anyone from any party who works to protect farmers and ranchers' ability to grow food, and we have recognized members of Congress on both sides of the aisle for their commitment to agriculture, and we appreciate them so much. But we call it like we see it. And there's no question that the changes with this administration has transformed the opportunity that we have to implement the policies of this great organization. The door of this administration opened up for farmers and ranchers literally on day one, when I was proud to be part of RFD-TV's Tractor Brigade in the inaugural parade, to be part of showing the world that agriculture is a major player in our nation's identity and our nation's economy. I want to thank Patrick Gouch and all the folks at RFD-TV for giving me the opportunity to represent the greatest industry and the greatest people on earth, and that's the American farmer in that celebration. Let's give them a round of applause. But even before that, even before the inaugural parade, we were invited to bring representatives from about 30 farm groups to your Farm Bureau office in Washington. And we was able to meet with the President's transition team to talk about the issues that faced farmers and ranchers. Now, that's never happened before, and we did it in your Farm Bureau office. There's no question that we have had a seat at the table with this Trump administration, just like Ray Starling promised me after he was hired to be the special assistant to the president for agriculture, trade, and food assistance. And we've really had some progress on some of our big issues because agriculture has been united. And you've heard me say that 1,000 times. We are getting things done because our leaders are engaged like they've never been engaged before. It's thanks to your engagement that Congress passed tax reform last year, giving farmers a new 20% deduction on their business income, doubling the estate tax exemption, and preserving tax credits that farmers depend on, and lowering our individual tax rate. I've served as your president for 2 years now, one under the previous administration and one under this administration. And folks, I'll let you in, I tell you, it's a breath of fresh air to be able to advocate for getting things done instead of having to constantly fight and defend agriculture against a steady stream of challenges from our own government. Yes. You know what's special about tomorrow? We're going to have the opportunity, and I'm proud we have this opportunity, to thank the President in person when he joins us tomorrow afternoon. Let's give him a round of applause. Probably the biggest challenge that we faced in recent years was the Waters of the U.S. rule. That overreaching regulation would have allowed federal government to dictate how we farm or whether we could even farm at all. It treated ditches and potholes the same as flowing rivers. The rule invited the feds onto our fields and essentially took over management of our farms and ranches. You know, our land is our heritage, and nothing gets us more riled up than when somebody comes onto our place, our land, and tells us how to do a job that we and our ancestors have done for generations. And that's exactly the reason why Farm Bureau members work so hard to ditch this rule. And ladies and gentlemen, we are well on the way of ditching that rule. Thanks to your engagement and thanks to EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt, the old rule is being reconsidered. And we are urging the agency to propose a new rule that draws clear lines and protects water without regulating our farmland, our fields. Administrator Pruitt spoke at our advocacy conference last year and got 2, not 1, but 2 standing ovations. Now that's got to be a first for an EPA administrator to get that kind of reception from Farm Bureau audiences. But that tells you how much of a transformation that has happened at our nation's capital. And he deserves those standing ovations. See, we appreciate the work that this administrator is doing to bring common sense back to environmental stewardship. Another member of the administration that deserves our appreciation is Secretary Ryan Zinke. Last year, President Trump and Secretary Zinke reduced the size of 2 national monuments that were expanded by the previous administration. When President Obama enlarged 2 land monuments in Utah, we saw that as abuse of his power, one that denied farmers and ranchers access to grazing lands and water rights. In fact, the previous administration locked up over 5 million acres of potential grazing lands. See, Secretary Zinke understands that the law requires monuments to be the smallest area needed to protect the historical land, and we appreciate his leadership. And then there's President Trump's executive order to reduce federal red tape. He is requiring the agencies of our government to get rid of 2 rules for every new rule they implement. And he has put a mighty good man, former Governor Sonny Perdue of Georgia, in charge of the U.S. Department of Agriculture and an interagency task force on agriculture and rural prosperity. That task force is looking for regulatory burdens that stand in the way of growing our farms and our rural communities. And I know that Mr. Perdue had something to do with that. Because before he was even appointed, I asked him, I said, what is your goal? He says, I want to tear down everything that we don't have to have so that y'all can do your job. So I know it's right there where the president wants to be. For those of you who hadn't met, and I hope every one of you get the opportunity to meet Sonny Perdue, Secretary Perdue has worn a lot of hats in his life. He's a great husband to Mary. He's a great father. He's an Air Force captain. He was a veterinarian, made him understand sound science, and y'all know how we feel about sound science. He was a governor, and he was a state senator. But he's also a member of the University of Georgia football team in 1965 when he walked on as a freshman and as a walk-on quarterback. Go Dogs! But the hat that's most important to you and I is the farmer hat. See, it may be a surprise to you to know that he's only the 4th secretary in the history of our country that's actually farmed as an adult. See, he knows what it means to plant a seed or birth a calf and pray to God that it'll sustain our family and our farms. He knows what it's like to farm in the face of bad weather and bad markets and bad regulation that make our job harder. And he's no stranger to regulatory reform. As governor, he signed an executive order to help small businesses to get through state regulations, cut through it. And he certainly has a big job at the national level to do the same thing. Secretary Perdue also is a tremendous advocate for us in trade. He knows that the exports generate 20% of our farm income. And he exercised his right given to the Secretary in the 2014 Farm Bill to create the first ever Undersecretary for Trade in USDA. And he has put a really good man in that position to run that place. And his name is Ted McKinney from Indiana. They, together, are making sure that this president knows how critical trade is to farmers and ranchers. But I have to let you in on a little secret. I think this president understands that already. And I think he believes, just as I do, that enforcing our trade agreements is just as important as signing agreements in the first place. In the NAFTA renegotiation, I believe his team is doing the best they can do to get a better deal for all American businesses, including agriculture. In fact, this president actually told me that. He told us that. See, I was honored to attend a meeting that the president hosted last year in the White House with a group of farmers. And he promised us that what comes out of the negotiation of NAFTA would be even better than what we have today. I intend to take this president at his word. But we, as an organization, and the largest farm organization in this country, intend to work with him and his team to make good on that promise. You can help us today. Would everybody, every single person in this hall, help us tell the president that our trade agreements benefit America's farmers and ranchers? Now, I know every one of you, either in your pocketbook or your front pocket, you got one of these great, amazing pieces of technology that we carry around. And last year, we sent a message to Congress to pass regulatory reform. And guess what happened? Before the week was out, before some of you even got home, the House had passed a bill. We flooded Capitol Hill with emails. So we can have the same great impact today, and we can also send a message to the White House and let him know, let the president know how important trade is to us and how much we're looking forward to his visit tomorrow. So I want everybody to get out your phone, and I'm going to ask some friends to come up here on stage with me. Julie White from Mississippi and Matt Niswander from Tennessee are members of our American Farm Bureau Go Team. Now, for those of you who don't know who the Go Team is, the Go Team is a group of volunteers who we have been training to be agricultural advocates. And they are using their skills whenever we call on them to speak out, especially on social media. So they are the perfect group of people to help us use our social media this morning to advocate for open markets and agricultural exports. So there are going to be Go Team members out in the aisles for those of you my age and older that need help. And that's okay. We're not ashamed of that. We didn't grow up with these tools in our hands. And I'm going to turn it over to Julie and Matt and ask them to take over for a minute or two.
Thank you, President Duvall. I'm Julie White, and I'm proud to be from Mississippi, and I'm a graduate of your PAL Class 8. And we are excited to be up here today to talk about the importance of our grassroots team and also why it's important for us to be involved with our elected officials.
Hi, my name is Matt Niswander. I'm from the great state of Tennessee. That's right. I'm the 2017 National Discussion Meet winner. I'm a member of Partners in Advocacy Leadership Class 9, the current class, and I'm also on the Grassroots Outreach Team, or the GO Team. And today, we are going to give you a way to engage easily with your legislators and transform the future of agriculture.
Hey, Matt, you know, before we went up, we were talking about an advocacy experience that you had on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, so this year, a Partners in Advocacy Leadership program took me to Washington, D.C., where I met with legislative staffers, and I found out they have members of their staff that handle their social media accounts to find out what their constituents, people just like you, are worried about. So we're going to give you a very easy way to be that voice of agriculture to your legislators. So Julie, maybe you could explain that for them.
So what we want you to do is we want you to take out your phones, and we want you to join us today as we send a message to President Trump and to Congress. So if you will open up your Twitter app, for those of you who know what's your Twitter app. So first you're going to get your text messages out so that you can get the link. So guys, you're going to text AFBF to 52886. Again, that's AFBF to the number 52886. And you're going to text that out. When you get that, it's going to send you a message back, and it's going to give you a link in that message. And when you get the link, we want you to click on the link. Matt, you got yours done?
I do. So after you click the link, I've just done it. I'm doing it with you. You'll bring you to a web page. This is where we're going to engage our legislators. We're going to use social media, your Twitter accounts, and don't worry, if you don't have Twitter, it's still going to get the message out. So also, we're going to send an email. So if you will scroll down to the very bottom of that page, you will see there's a place to enter your information, your personal information. We encourage everyone to take action in sending this important message to our elected leaders today. So make sure you have your phone out. There are Go Team members in the audience to help. Just raise your hand if you need assistance. If you're having trouble navigate, remember, you're going to text AFBF to 52886 and click the link. It only takes a few seconds to show our impact and is helping to transform how we have an impact on our legislators.
Hey, look here, there ain't nobody here from North Carolina.
Uh-oh.
Sure not.
Hey, Zippy, I'll be honest with you. It looks like Georgia's already beaten Alabama.
It
the
does.
game ain't even
That's
started.
Alabama.
Y'all are beating them.
Where's them Alabama
Come
folks?
on.
There we go.
I know you Auburn fans can do that.
Come on now.
Guys, you can see the pin drops popping up on the map. And
Yep,
we want all the states represented. So the more people that are tweeting and emailing, the more pins that are going to show up for us.
And as you enter your information, you can see a count of the number of people responding and the number of advocacy actions taken. And your tweets will show up live here on the right side of the screen, so you may see your tweet on this page. Zippy, Georgia's still in the lead. They're beating Alabama.
Yeah, come on. Where's Jimmy at? Look here. We got to make sure that the president hears from the whole country. Let's go.
That's
we
right.
can do this.
The pins are dropping.
Look at that.
There's
Look.
some more
Here we
coming
go.
in.
Here we
Come
go.
on.
There we are.
We got Texas Farm Bureau coming in. Megan Allen showing her support on Twitter.
Come on, come on.
Be sure to click the Twitter account, the little bird at the bottom of the webpage, and also the email. Don't forget the emails.
Where's California at?
There's only a couple.
We're approaching
That's where these
400
things
advocates.
come from.
All right. We're
Let's
getting
show
close to
President Trump for
400.
Farm Bureau proud. There we go.
Looking good.
Look, we're over 400. Let's go, guys. Let's get your phones out. Let's make sure that we're all participating.
They're really coming in now. If you need help, there's Go Team members. We got some hands here. Could I get a Go Team member to help?
Yes. You
Go
raise
Team
your hand,
members,
T.
there's a few
There you
hands
go.
up.
Got some hands over here.
There's a few hands on this side too, Go Team members.
Go Team member, if we can get one over here.
Come on, Alabama's catching up, Georgia.
Maybe tomorrow won't be like that, right, Zippy?
Look, you can't even see Georgia.
We're over 500 advocates now. You're doing a great job, guys. We got Sarah showing Farmers for Free Trade. Cody Gray coming in.
We're close to 600.
Let's show President Trump. We're Farm Bureau proud, Farm Bureau strong.
Come on, we did 1,900 last year. We wanted to outdo 1,900 for sure.
Here we go. Y'all doing a great job. Raise your hand if you need help. There'll be Go Team members in the audience.
Here's a hand over here. There's a couple hands over here.
Yep.
We need a Go Team member over here.
There's several hands on the far side over here, up front.
You guys are doing a great job. You got your names scrolling across. Dennis, Mindy, Caitlin, Richard, Jennifer. Thank you for being advocates for agriculture.
There, they've got somebody come and help you.
This is an easy way to engage your legislators so we can transform the future of agriculture. This is an easy opportunity. We need some Go Team members in the middle here if we can get those.
Guys, don't forget, President Trump's coming tomorrow. We want him to know how excited we are about him coming to spend time with us, the farmers of America.
Let's go, Farm Bureau. We're getting close to 1,000. Let's see if we can get that mark real quick. We get some Go Team members in the middle here with a little help. Some Go Team members on the side, please, over here, a little help.
Almost 1,000.
Almost.
Here we go, Brittany.
Here it comes.
Look
at that.
No, we are over 1,000.
There it is. There it is.
Good job, guys.
Good job, Farm Bureau. Let's keep going. Let's beat last year. We get some Go Teamers in the middle here with a little help. Some Go Teamers on the side, please. Could you help these individuals with their hands raised? Any Go Team member, just stand up and go help if you don't mind. The thing we're contacting your legislators about today is regulatory reform, trade, and the upcoming farm bill, all important issues that will affect every agriculture producer in this room. So it's important that each and every one of you engage today with this very easy way to do that.
This is an easy way to do it. And even if you're back home after this is an easy way for you to engage with your elected officials. They do check this, and they do check to see what we're saying as farmers and what is important to you and I.
The pins are still dropping. Let's go. Let's send some messages in.
Okay, guys.
All right. Guys, thanks so much for everyone participating. Give yourselves a round of applause.
President Duvall, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To lead this office and for supporting the Go Team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. And let's give the Go Team, who works all year long to help advocate for agriculture. So let's give them a big round of applause. Now, you can continue to do that. I want to go over what we did last year, and we did about 1,900 to 2,000, so don't quit. Ask for help. Find somebody that's got a white Farm Bureau tag on and keep on sending those emails and tweeting, because we want to make sure that the President knows we're going to welcome him warmly and that we need this trade. USDA forecasts that ag exports totaled $140 billion last year. And our ag trade surplus will grow to $23 billion. That's right, I said a surplus. Earlier this year, we joined a group called Farmers for Free Trade. It's a campaign where we're working alongside of our partners and other groups and agricultural companies to set the record straight on trade. They are here at our trade show, and they brought a banner with them. And we want everybody to go by there in the trade show and sign their banner to help support trade. And I hope everybody will take time to sign that banner after we get out of here. As I traveled, I have discovered that even some of us within agriculture don't understand what's at stake if we lose these trade agreements. Trade should not be a dirty word, because without those global markets, and with our already depressed farm economy, we'll get even worse. We sell about half of what we produce on the foreign markets all around the world. If we lose those markets, where's that agricultural production going to go? And how are we as farmers and ranchers going to make up for that lost income? We can't afford to lose those foreign markets. And in fact, we need to be opening up new markets. We need to pursue opportunities and eliminate trade barriers in Asia and the European Union and all around the world. We need to be talking to our friends and neighbors to help them understand that ag trade is truly an American success story. Yes. So keep on working on your social media and ask for help if you need it. We need to send every message we can. But you know, we have a lot of work to do in immigration and farm labor. This is just another issue that has been taken over by politics. But I have met farmers and ranchers all across America who deal with the reality of the farm labor shortage on their farm. Everywhere I go, no matter which region or which state, farmers tell me the number one issue they face is not enough ag workers to get the crops out of the fields. We produced a video last year featuring Burr and Rosella Mosby, vegetable farmers in Washington State. The Mosbys said that they lost about $100,000 on their small family farm because they had to leave the entire field of zucchini unharvested. And that's just one example of many across America. We hear from farmers every year about applying for temporary guest workers, only to wait months and months for a decision, and all along they're worrying whether or not they're going to get enough workers on time to plant and harvest their crops. We hear about livestock producers and dairy farmers that are losing their workers whenever ICE comes in looking for one bad guy. We need to enforce our laws, and we agree with that. But we also need our government to do it in a way that doesn't stop us from farming. I believe that we are closer than ever for us to find a solution for this problem. Just last year, Congressman Bob Goodlatte from Virginia introduced a bill that would let existing workers apply for visas to stay in the U.S. and keep working on our farms and ranches. We need Congress to pass a bill so that we can keep from losing ag production to other countries where they have better access to labor. Now, we can have an impact if we engage. Grassroots leaders like you are transforming national policies to make agriculture stronger every day. And thanks to Farm Bureau Leadership Development Program, thousands of Farm Bureau members have been transformed into strong advocates. Farm Bureau is transforming members into leaders so that we can impact agriculture in the world. Our PAL program helps young farmers and ranchers continue to build their leadership skills. We've put about 100 grassroots leaders through this elite training program, and it has transformed them into strong advocates who can tell our story. And then there's the GO team that I introduced earlier. This group are advocates that have put their hands up and said, I'm here and I'm ready to fight wherever I can influence foreign policy or public opinion. We need more soldiers in that army. For decades, farmers have often complained that we can't get our message out because the media ignores us or because consumers just take us for granted. That has changed with social media. Anyone can have a platform, and we have so many opportunities to engage and educate and inform. But to realize those opportunities, we need to train dedicated volunteers who are willing to stick their hand up and say, use me. Let me join your army, put the tools in my hands, and show me where I can have the greatest impact. We have developed thousands of advocates and leaders. One good example of that is in Arizona. Both the new president of the Arizona Farm Bureau and the vice president are graduates of our PAL program. Yes. Many of us in this room, including myself, have been part of the Young Farmer and Rancher Leadership Development Program, and hundreds of Farm Bureau women have been empowered to speak out for agriculture thanks to the Women's Leadership Committee and the Women's Communication Boot Camp. Graduates from these programs have become leaders of farm organizations, they've become commissioners of agriculture, and even some of them are sitting in Congress today. And they're making a difference in our lives. The polls say that people are feeling a little more positive about agriculture more than any other sector of the economy in Georgia and in the United States. Thanks to our grassroots advocates and agricultural literacy work of the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Ag, more Americans understand the critical role that we play in their lives. And folks, this year we're going to need those ag advocates more than ever, because Congress is working on passing a new farm bill. The farm bill is so important to us right now because we've all seen the prices that we get for our commodities plummet. Our farm income is cut 52% or more, because I want everybody to understand that our opponents, the people who are against us and then are against the farm bill, are out there and they're ready to attack it. A lot of us refer to the farm bill as a safety net for farmers. And I want you to just think about that just a minute. If you're talking to a non-farm member, a friend, or a member of your family, and you're trying to talk them into helping you support and be an advocate for a strong safety net for your business, what do you think they're sitting there wondering? What do you think they're thinking about? They're thinking about, well, if the federal government's going to give him a safety net, why is he not going to give me a safety net? See, I think we got to stop calling it a safety net. I think we got to call it what it is, and it is a food security bill. Thank you. See, the Farm Bill is the place where all Americans, in and outside of agriculture, can make a very small deposit and invest in the security of their food system. But as important as the Farm Bill is to overall food security, it is critical to the sustainability of our farms and our ranches. Last year, Farm Bureau gathered input from farmers and ranchers across America to develop Farm Bill recommendations, and we put it before our board, and we sent it on and shared those with the House and Senate Agriculture Committee. Members of Congress told me that it was important for us to work our differences out between regions and commodities and come to them with one united front. And that's what we have done at Farm Bureau. That's what Farm Bureau is all about. One thing that came out of that input we gathered is that the risk management programs are critical to us. Last summer, I visited a blueberry farm in Mississippi and toured his packing operation, which wasn't very busy that day because all of his blueberry fields were flooded. I asked him, was crop insurance important to his operation? And he told me without crop insurance that he would not be in business after just 1 year like 2017. See, this is a business that's creating jobs in a very small community. And of course, it's growing food for consumers. The fact is, the Farm Bill is a food security bill for everyone. It's for every consumer across America. The Farm Bill is for conservation. The Farm Bill is for rural development and our energy security. It's for research so that we can continue to increase production and meet the demand for the future. And yes, and it should continue to be for those low-income Americans who need an extra helping hand to put food on their tables. Those of us who grow our nation's food want every American to have enough to eat. As a matter of fact, through our Harvest for All program, Farm Bureau members have donated more than $7 million and over 200 million pounds of food to local food banks. And they have volunteered over 100,000 hours to assist local hunger charities. See, we want to raise a future generation that is well-nourished so that they can learn and become good citizens and be strong soldiers of the army that keeps our nation secure. We believe in helping people, but by golly, let's do it efficiently. We need Congress to pass a farm and food security bill this year, and it is important to keep them together. Keep them together so that we can draw enough interest in Congress and enough support to get it passed. I promised you earlier that I would visit with farmers and ranchers in all 50 states. Well, I've completed that goal, and it's been the greatest experience of my life. And I wanted to share with you some of these things that struck me as I toured farmers and talked to farmers and men and women that grew our food and fiber. See, farmers and ranchers are the hardest working people I know. Farmers and ranchers are innovators and problem solvers. Our farmers and ranchers want to do the right thing for their animals and their land. And see, we understand that the mother and dads across the world that are buying our food that we grow and produce and to feed their children, we know that we got to do the right thing by them. And yes, we want to do the right thing for our farms so that we can be sustainable for the future. These are challenging times for us. The farm economy is bad. And farmers in several states are hurting from terrible fires, hurricanes that I was able to experience. Russell from Texas invited me down to see what Hurricane Harvey did to Texas. And there are no words and no pictures that can truly show you the disaster that happened in farmland in Texas. And then I went to Florida to see what happened to the citrus growers and the dairymen in Florida and what happened to the fruits and vegetables down there. Unbelievable devastation. But nobody is more resourceful and enduring than the American farmer. And being a farmer, I'm going to be resourceful today. I'm going to ask Bonnie and my 2 grandchildren that are with us today to come up and help me close this speech out. Because I know that this 9-year-old and 6-year-old has been sitting down there trying to understand what B-Pop has been saying for 30 minutes. Come over here, Trip. See, in life, I want you to look in the horizon out there. And I know a lot of times, this is my artist right here. She's an unbelievable artist, and she loves animals. And this is my little preacher and hunter here right here. And his name's Trip, and her name's Ava. And usually when we talk about the horizon, we look out in front of us and see a sunset or the moon coming up or the sun coming up. But today I want you to think about these people out here. Every one of these people sitting in these seats out here, there's thousands of them. And they are farmers. And every day when you go to school and you see the children open up their lunch bucket or they go through the line to pick up their food, or you go with your mom and daddy to the grocery store to get food, all that food is there because of all of the hard work that they do each and every day. And I tell you, you heard me say that this is difficult times. It's hard on these guys because it's just like B-Pop and Dr. Zeb out there. We're getting half for our calves at what we used to get. Just think if your mom and daddy's check was cut in half. How would they continue to get things for you each and every day? So it's very, very hard for them to continue to do it. But let me tell you why they do it. See, these people are God-fearing people. These people believe in this great country that we live in. And as they keep their eyes on the horizon, they're prepared to endure and persevere because there's tremendous opportunities out there for us to continue to feed all the children in this country and the world. So I want to use a part of the Bible, and it comes from Romans. And it's when Paul was talking to churches, trying to encourage them, going through difficult time when churches first started. And if you think about a church, it's not a building. It's all those people inside. You know your mama when she sings so beautifully. It's those people that's inside that's really a church. So he's talking to people. And see, I've been trying to tell these people out here that we have to glory in our tribulation like Paul told those people. You know, it's hard. You know what tribulation is? Tribulations are hard times. When your income goes down, when B got sick with cancer, when you just don't feel good. Sometimes life is tough. But see, God allows us to go through those tribulations so that we can learn how to persevere. Now, you know what persevere means? It means to get tough. Get tough around the edges. Suck it up. You hear that, kids? Suck it up. So these guys out here, they suck it up and they persevere. But as they persevere, they grow character. You know what character is? It's what the other guy thinks of you. It's what they see on the outside of you. Are you a good man, a bad man? Are you happy or sad? Are you a friendly or you're a grump? That's your character. And everybody's watching you and you're developing your character. But as you develop that character, because God's put you through that tribulation, they made you stronger and you realized what's important in life. Now, all of those guys out there are stressed to the gilt. But they know what's important in life. And that's loving each other. We know what's important in life. When B went through her cancer, what did we realize? We realized how much we loved her. And we realized all the things she does for us. Just think about what Jesus did for us. He gave it all for us. So we learn from that. As we build our character, we get hope. And hope puts us into a mode to be stronger for the next challenge. And during this next year, we're going to celebrate 99 years of this great organization's success. And we need to focus, ladies and gentlemen, we need to focus on the future. We need to stay united. We need to stay united together. We need to stay engaged and learn how to use social media, and I'm talking to myself. And we need to be ready to persevere in our tribulation, because we definitely got tribulation now. And as we endure this, we will transform our farms, our nation, and our world, not for us, but for my grandchildren and your grandchildren and all the little people around the world. God bless America. God bless our American farmer, and God bless you. Thank you so much. Bonnie and I just love working for you every day. Thank you. Wave out.